What's up YouTube, it's your man Glides, and I'm out here with this CVO ST 2025, and I'm about to tell you what I'm about to do to it. Alright guys, here it is, the 2025 Harley-Davidson Road Glide CVO ST, and these are some of the modifications that I've done to it. So far you see the obvious, which is the seat. I've added the Chopped Tour Pak with the King backrest, and the reason why I like that is because you don't see so much of this open gap on the Chopped as you do when it is on the King, because this actually fills all in. There's no gap here like on the King, and I just love that look a lot better. One of the things I did to hide the gaps is I added these Ciro lights on there on the side. It covers up the gap. Those gaps are natural, but as you can see, like this filler light right there actually fills in like all those gaps, so you don't see it on the back. So those are some of the things that I did. I got this idea for this design through Matt Laidlaw. He has what he calls his bike as a geezer glide, because he took his CVO ST the same way. He has a black one and made it into a touring bike, and I didn't really know how I felt about the idea at first, because I had the regular CVO with the VVT, and I was just thinking, why didn't he just do that and turn that into a touring bike? However, it was the best idea that anybody could come up with, because you still have the 121, but you have the high output versus the VVT. The ST is actually made in a racing configuration and design. When I had never did a comparison between the two until I actually owned this, and it was when I took my first ride home that I actually felt the power difference, and I was just blown away. And ever since, it's been my favorite bike. I really like the feel. I like how low it is to the ground, and me being 5'10" with 30-inch inseam, this was the perfect bike for me. So I decided to do the same thing. I decided to turn it into a touring bike. I was waiting for Harley-Davidson to come out with a CVO Road Glide that was a limited, and so the wait's over. I decided to just make my own. I didn't need the King Tour Pak. I like the extra space that the saddlebags provide without the speaker in there. It just gives a lot of extra space. As you can see from the width of the bags, they look smaller, but there's actually more space in, and without the speakers you even have more space, and that makes up for me by having the Chopped Tour Pak. One of the other things about it is, if I wanted to have the CVO ST look again, all I'd have to do is just remove the Tour Pak, and I'm back to the same look, and flip up the rear floorboards, and I'm back at the normal look. All I'd have to do is pull this seat off, add my other seat back on with the seat cowling. One of the things that I also did was I changed out the handlebars for T-bars and risers. They already had the same style risers, but they were about half the size. So in the racing positions with their hands down lower, I got a lot of right shoulder pain because I was reaching down further, and I felt like a lot of pressure on my hands initially when doing long distance riding. So that was the reason why I wanted to bring the bars back up and over and down. A lot of people are going with pullback bars, and everybody with pullback bars love them. I've seen some guys with pullbacks on the CVO, the Road Glide CVOs and the CVO STs, and it took a while for me to like the look, but I think I do want to go with those after a while. But the T-bar configuration for me with the pullbacks on the T-bars, I actually like. So you can use your regular bars that come with your regular, it's not, I guess the same regular setup that it comes with, and then put the pullbacks on there. But for me, I like this. It's more of a performance feel, and I love it. So one of the things that you'll see me doing here in like the next few weeks is that I'm going to be adding lower leg fairings. So unfortunately, I'll have to take this flat out bar off, put the regular engine guard on. I'll have to unfortunately remove this big heavy air breather, but I'll be going with the Screaming Eagle wedge, and I'll be putting that on, which is still a heavy breather type of air intake. So I'll be putting that on, and it'll give me the space. Me being shorter, This air breather, it doesn't hit my knees. And a lot of people that had the old school air breather, they had that issue, but I think the old one went out and then forward, so you will hit your knees like right about here. This one is more like pushed in and over, so I don't know if people are still having that problem, but me being shorter, I don't have the issue at all. One of the things I did for as far as touring that I love is these Ciro highway pegs. And with the Ciro highway pegs, you have several points of adjustment. Like this part is for the extended reach. Even though I'm shorter, you can still adjust to pull these back towards you. And you also have an adjustment piece right here for your comfort. And this flips up if you want it up and out of the way. Whereas normally they would go on the highway pegs up here and your feet are more out. These are more down. So if I need to get quickly on the brake, all I gotta do is still have my foot and then just move it right over. So I love that design. As you can see, I added a center stand on there. I love the center stand. And man, I just love this bike. It is my favorite bike so far out of all the Harley-Davidsons that I've had. Out of all the road glides and street glides, everything that I've owned, this is my favorite bike right here. I love the color and all that. I used to have the taller windshield, and I went right back to this 5-inch sport flip that comes on the CVO ST. And just this flip alone is enough to keep the wind out of my face, all the buffeting and all that stuff. When I put the tall one on, the entire performance of the bike changed, and I didn't like it. I still haven't really used these deflectors on the bottom. I know when you open it, the wind's supposed to go through here, give you a lot more wind, but I just don't use them. I got to start playing with it and see how it could benefit my rides. So one of the reasons why I want the lowers is because when I'm doing long distance riding, I don't like wet feet. And I believe like with the lowers on my other bikes, it did protect my feet a lot from the weather, the wind, the water. So here's a look at the floorboards right from, you know, the Ciro floorboards. So I can put my feet here on the actual floorboards or keep them on the highway pegs off. So my terminology, these are the highway pegs from Ciro, my floorboards. I can have my foot on the floorboard with the brake, or relax, put them on the Ciro highway pegs and have it like this or like that. And it's just a comfortable feel. So back to the subject on the lowers. So when you're riding long distance, for aerodynamics, I like for my legs to be close to the tank. What happens is when you're on like 1,000 mile, after about 1,000 miles, you're gonna be tired anyway, but after several days of riding, your legs are being constantly pushed apart by the wind. And if you notice, you start getting leg cramps in here, is because the whole time you're fighting the wind, pushing your legs into the bike. So one thing that the lowers do, it helps the wind to go up and around, and it keeps the fatigue off your legs. So I love that. The other thing that I did was I added the heel toe shifter. And I like that because when I'm long distance riding, instead of me putting my foot underneath and having to click up and all that stuff and getting fatigue in your shins and all that, I can just step down or click forward or step down on the heel toe shifter. So I love the fact that even though it didn't come with the heel toe shifter, it was only like a $60 add-on. So I highly recommend having a heel toe shifter. It just saves you a lot. One of the things that the CVO ST has is it's called I believe it's called a power shifter or whatever, so that you don't have to, if you're accelerating on the bike, you don't have to pull the clutch in. You could just really just pop it into the next gear without shifting. So it's I think it's called a power shifter. Added this piece on. I think it's a good looking add-on piece. I already showed you the floorboards for the rear passenger. The pegs, oftentimes if you put your foot on a peg, it creates a lot of tension on the middle part of your foot, which causes foot pain. So for my passenger, any passenger would be more comfortable with a full floorboard, as well as if you just had a peg right here, it would be the same amount of uncomfort. So having floorboards for your rear passenger is important, especially on long distance rides. The other thing, anytime you order a seat, a lot of times if you just order it for your bike, it will not come with extra gel and things like that. So I recommend just being more patient, custom order your seat, and have them add in extra gel. So I have a lot of comfort because I had LePera. I asked them to make the seat for me, add extra gel for the passenger and for the rider. I actually love this seat. It is the best seat I've ever had. As far as backrest support, look how deep this backrest actually, I mean, like how deep the seat goes and like how much support I have in the back. So I don't actually have to put the actual backrest piece up here, because it'll just be in the middle of my back. Where my lower back is, all my lower back just goes right into there. And so I know when Michelle rides, this wider part of the seat, how it just goes wide out, she loves it. So this LePera seat is the one that her and I both love. And LePera doesn't normally do backrest, but what I did, I had a backrest sent to them and then they reupholstered it, because the comfort for your backseat rider makes a world of difference, especially when they can like rest their arms up here and then have extra seat cushion in the back, and all this cushion in here makes the trips a lot more better. But just moving towards the back, I added a lot of light. I already showed you the light that I added between the filler of the seat. Luggage rack is a must. Even though some people don't like the look, it's just you could fit the Harley bag right on the back, and it straps in and you have just extra space to put your clothes on. This luggage rack also has, I have a light right here, that's by Custom Dynamics. This is a Custom Dynamics LED light. I love that. Custom Dynamics light for the bags. And these smoked fillers are all over the internet. There's no name for them. I have them on Amazon, but when you remove the saddlebags, there's some bolts that hold this fixture in. You remove the fixture and you could just like quickly put those in. It's like a 15-minute install. This actual fit right here, this fixture is Custom Dynamics also. I wanted that because Harley puts a fixture here that sticks out and it looks like a clown nose. So the exhaust is the 5-inch tab exhaust. Those are the slip-on mufflers. One of the other things I was gonna do is, there's a guy who, in this area, in the DC area, he puts gloss over your carbon fiber piece there and on the front, and it gives it a gloss look. It's like a gloss black finish, and you can still see the carbon fiber design, but it gives it a shine, just like the shine that would be on your normal paint. And so I love that. I added on the Empire Collection mirrors. I love those. I love the design and the look, and I just love the way they reflect. You have a lot of space here. Normal mirrors don't provide that upper space there for you to see, and I love it. As far as the touring, when you're touring long distance, I love having hand shields on for like hail, for rocks and everything else. It's a good thing to have. And as far as these Harley-Davidson style floorboards, I went with these. At the time there wasn't a lot of red and black floorboards, but I like the fact that the bar and shield had the red in it, and the same for the grips. But these grips are actually, to me, were the best. I added these on because they're heated, and the ST didn't come with heated grips, but I like this little insert in here. Your finger actually fits in there, and it just gives you a good feel of where you are on the hand grips. I know over time, when you start getting tired on the bike, a lot of those little things help. And then when you get home, you turn the bike on. One of the things that the ST had, that the ST didn't have versus what the CVO had, was the feature for the remote garage door opener. So you just take your high beams, your lights, flash it twice, and then it allows the garage door to close. Same process to open the garage, click it twice, and then your garage door will open. So those are all the upgrades that I've done to this bike, and well, modifications that I've done to the bike. And one of the other things that I'm going to be possibly doing in the future with Custom Dynamics is I'm going to be adding the Shark Road headlight, and the two headlights that go there, they're like what Baja Design originally came out with. It's like an off-road look, and I like that look, but this time I'm going to be going with both the white lights, and it will have the light piece here and then just like a black design there and then a vent. However, I do like the original light here, and just the original light, it just gives it a look that I love. When you think about like the shark nose fairing, it just, the way the lights are kind of look like teeth. I like that. Oh, speaking of which, Custom Dynamics actually makes these lights here, and when you hit the turn signal, they turn amber, and same thing on the other side, or with the hazard lights. All these flash in the rear, so I like staying lit. So Custom Dynamics provides a lot of the, well, pretty much all of the lighting for me. They are my sponsor, and I appreciate all the light that they provide. That is a big upgrade, and it's just fun installing the Custom Dynamics lights because everything is just plug and play. This front fairing is pretty easy to come off, and I just love the overall look and the design of the new model Harley-Davidsons. It took a while to grow on me. This bike I named it Sparta because the front reminds me of a Spartan shield, and if you could see my YouTube short when I named the bike Sparta, I used part of the video from 300 and incorporated the name for this bike to be Sparta.
This is Sparta! Spartans, prepare for glory!
To be Sparta. I've been so impressed with the bike, the power, the speed, the performance. I just thought it was like a gladiator, a killer machine. This red, the rally red, just reminds me of like blood red, and Sparta was the best name that I could come up with for this bike. I can't wait to put the lowers on so we can see what Sparta is going to look like with the lowers. The lowers come off easily, and so does the Tour Pak. So I can always have the CVO ST look if I want it, but for the riding that I do, which is all touring, this is what I have so far. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. I'll see you again with another video in the future, and stay tuned because who knows where we're gonna go next.